it does lead me to my next question. And I think there's a connection between these two questions, and that is in thinking about that first principle and going first and being willing to.
Mhm.
Sometimes I'm afraid to share ideas in spaces because I'm worried people are going to judge
Mhm.
my idea. So I've actually started trying to reframe it as this is probably a terrible idea. So I'm going to say
Right.
my terrible idea out loud, and then I'll let you
Right.
like come up with a better one, right?
Right.
Um, that connects me to this next principle. I think it's principle 3 that's about building community
Mhm.
and how you invite others to challenge.
Yeah.
And I think why it was so rewarding for me to read about this is one, I think that's hard for a lot of people, but it's a piece that's missing. And we wonder why people end up in the parking lot, which you reference in your book that, instead
Yeah.
of going to the parking lot, like I'd rather just talk about it here. But I think what was so pertinent for me is I've actually seen you do this in person
Yeah.
with large crowds of people and very comfortably. And I just want to know more about like where does like how did you learn to practice that or where does that come from for you?
Yeah, I think it's some emails that I might have received where someone said, "Hey, I didn't like that you said this." And I was like, "Yeah, they're totally right. Like I could have done that way better." And it kind of sucks when you can't do anything about it anymore. Do you know what I mean? So like I spoke at this place or I left this place and now I get this feedback after the fact on something they disagreed with and they share it. And it's like that feedback would have been so beneficial where I could have done something or listened to it. And I think it's just the comfort. And I think maybe this is the maturity is that I know I don't know everything. I know I have a lot to learn. And my whole presence on social media has never been to like tout my ideas. It is to share my learning over time. Here's things that went wrong. I get really turned off by anyone on social media says you need to do this. I'm like, no, no, no. I'm not doing it. I'm actually not doing it now because you said I have to do it. Like it pushes me away. What I'm drawn to is, hey, here's something I tried, or here's something I'm learning, and just sharing it and being comfortable with that. And it kind of you see a lot of people like I don't want to go on social media or I don't want to post anything because I don't want to see bragging. I'm like, well, just share your learning. Just share what you're learning. Don't say it's the best idea. Just share. Here's something I'm doing. Right. I don't know if I'd say I have a terrible idea. And that maybe I would. Right. And I think you just have to be comfortable with that. But the challenge is I think what I learned from it is I'm seeking growth. I want to get better. And when you're inviting that in, again, it's easier to deal with than hearing it after the fact. Or sometimes you don't give people the opportunity. And let's be honest, it's way easier to be mean in an email than in front of everybody. So, not that it doesn't happen. I shared an instance where someone was really mean to me in
Mhm.
front of everybody in the book, but but it's when you're talking face to face and you have that human connection and you say like, hey, and I think people appreciate that. Like it's always funny because you don't necessarily see what I see because I'm looking at everybody when I say it and they're like, really? Like you really? Because they're not, and you can tell people are not used to it. They're not used to saying pushback on the idea because I'm still trying to figure stuff out too.